Hey, class. This is the article on the 10 things you may not know about Joe Biden. I am going to read through it and just kind of discuss it as I go through. So there's Joe, and this caption says after his inauguration on January 20th, 2021, Joe Biden will become the 46th president of the United States. All right, so here's some background. First elected to office in 1972, Joe Biden has been in the public eye for nearly a half a century. Having served in the United States for 36 years, followed by two terms as vice president under Barack Obama, he's no stranger to American voters, who elected him as the 46th president of the United States in November of 2020. Often the subject of viral memes about his perceived bromance with Obama or the signature aviator sunglasses he's worn since he was a lifeguard in the 1960s, the father of four, Hunter, Ashley, and late children Bo and Amy, is as much recognized for his landmark career legislation, including the 1994 Violence Against Women Act, as he is for his relatable blue collar roots. Here are 10 more facts you might not know about the president elect. He's been he was on the Senate for 36 years, right? He served 8 years as vice president. So, he's been in politics for a very, very long time. Number one, he overcame a childhood stutter. Growing up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, Biden has said he suffered merciless bullying over a debilitating childhood stutter. I can think of nothing else that has ever stripped me of my dignity as quickly and as profoundly and as thoroughly as when I stuttered in grade school, he said in a 2008 speech to the American Institute for Stuttering. As he wrote in his 2008 memoir, a teacher, who was also a nun, even made fun of him, calling him Mr. Biden, leading him to walk out of class one day. His mother, Catherine Finnegan Biden, later confronted the teacher, he said, telling the woman, "If you ever speak to my son like that again, I'll come back and rip that bonnet off your head." Biden has explained he overcame the stutter by reading and reciting Irish poems, including those by William Butler Yeats, in front of a mirror to monitor and control his facial distortions. To this day, he can still recite long passages of Irish poetry from memory. So, this is a really, I think this is a really powerful thing to know about him, because to this day when he's doing speeches, you can, it's not perfect, right? And sometimes that stutter will come through, but um, I get this. I have a close friend that I went to school with and I've known since elementary school, and he was actually one of my uh, best men at my wedding, and he has a debilitating stutter. So the fact that Biden could, and this friend of mine, he went to Harvard. I mean, he's a super intelligent guy, but this can be a really difficult thing to get over. So um, the fact that he did that on his own, by doing these things is just really impressive. Number two, he was a high school football star. During his senior year at Delaware's Archmere Academy in 1960, Biden, who played wide receiver and halfback, was the leading scorer on the private Catholic school's undefeated football team. He was the guy that was the main pass catcher, one of his teammates, Michael Fay, recalled to the New York Times in November 2020. We were seniors in 1960, so throwing the ball was almost a mortal sin. But he caught 7 or 8 touchdown passes in 8 games, which was a lot for back then. In 2008, Biden's former coach John Walsh described Biden as skinny, but he was one of the best receivers I had in 16 years as a coach. So it's pretty cool to think of him as an athlete, but I think he still tries to work out the ways he can. Number three, he has two dogs. Come January, Biden's two German Shepherds, Champ and Major, will be joining him and wife, Jill Biden, in the White House. The Biden family rescued Major from the Delaware Humane Association as a puppy in 2018. Now 12 years old, Champ, who was named by their grandchildren, has already spent plenty of time in the White House, joining the family in Washington, D.C., during his time serving as vice president under former President Obama. Champ and Major may also share their new home with a feline. After Dr. Biden hinted she'd love to get a cat, her husband was elected president, CBS Sunday morning's Jane Pauley reported in late November 2020 that the plan to adopt a cat was already in motion. Number four, he's a car enthusiast. Biden's father, Joseph Biden Sr., a one time car dealership manager, financed a green 1967 Corvette Stingray for him as a wedding gift, and the president still drives the car. His sons even had the engine rebuilt as a Christmas gift. I love this car. Nothing but incredible memories, Biden said in August 2020 Twitter video. Every time I get in, I think of my dad and Bo. God, could my dad drive a car? According to Politico, Biden remains a genuine gearhead and subscribes to car and driver alerts on his iPhone. So this shows that he's well rounded and he's got other interests other than politics. Five, he's a practicing Catholic. Once inaugurated, Biden, who carries Bo's rosary in his pocket and regularly attends Sunday Mass, will become the United States' second Catholic president after John F. Kennedy. During his November 2020 presidential victory speech, he referred to the Catholic hymn on Eagle's Wings, which he said was important to his family and his late son Bo, who died of brain cancer in 2015. It captures the faith that sustains me, which I believe sustains America, and I hope I can provide some comfort and solace. He told the crowd before reciting lines from the song. And he will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hand. So, only the second Catholic president, but most presidents have been, maybe all presidents have been Christian, some denomination of Christian. Um, but yeah, one of these things that they mentioned here is the tragedy of his son Bo dying of brain cancer in 2015, which is one of the many tragedies he suffered in his life. But we'll get to that shortly here. Number six, he was sworn into the United States Senate in a hospital. Following the December 1972 car accident that claimed the lives of his first wife, Nelia, and 13-month-old daughter, Naomi Amy Biden, the newly elected United States Senator was sworn into office in January 1973 at the bedsides of sons Bo and Hunter, who were badly injured in the crash. Then 30 years old, Biden was one of the youngest senators to be elected, though he'd considered stepping down following the tragedy. Majority Leader Mike Mansfield eventually convinced him to reconsider, and the Senate passed a resolution allowing him to be sworn in at the Delaware hospital. Even so, the then single dad vowed that he'd resign if his Senate duties took too much time away from Bo and Hunter, and even commuted to Washington D.C. on Amtrak. They can always get another senator, but my boys cannot get another father, Biden said. So, this again, this was probably the first huge tragedy of his life, but just horrible, right? That in this car crash, his wife and their baby daughter were killed, and his sons were both injured badly. So the fact that he wanted to put his sons first, but he still, you know, found the strength to serve in the Senate while also, spending time with the sons and being there for his sons is just, I think, is really commendable and um, inspiring. Let's see. Number seven, he ran for president three times. Biden launched his first presidential bid in 1987 before dropping out of the race later that fall. At the time, his campaign had become plagued with scandal after a video surfaced of Biden giving a speech at the Iowa State Fair in which he quoted UK Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock without attribution. When I stopped trying to explain to everybody and thought it through, the blame fell totally on me, he wrote of the plagiarism accusations in his 2018 memoir, Promises to Keep on Life and Politics. Maybe the reporters traveling with me had seen me credit Kinnock over and over, but it was Joe Biden who forgot to credit Kinnock at the state fair debate. He later ran for the 2008 Democratic nomination before dropping out after finishing in fifth place in January 2008 Iowa caucuses. Then Senator Obama announced Biden had joined his ticket in August of that year. So that was the year he lost to Obama, and then he eventually became the VP. On his third run, Biden and running mate Kamala Harris were elected to the presidency and vice presidency, respectively, in November 2020. So, I mean, I just look at this as his his big scandal, right? His big scandal was, he said something in a speech that he should have uh, he quoted someone, he should have said, uh, as this person said, that's his big scandal. So thinking back to this past presidency, it's kind of laughable that that's his big scandal. Number 8, he and President Obama had weekly lunches. While serving as former President Obama's vice president, the friends would meet for weekly lunches. As part of their partnership, Obama agreed that his vice president would always be the final person he'd speak to before making a big decision. In turn, Biden made a loyalty pledge per the New York Times. You make a decision and I will follow it to my death, Biden said, according to his friend and advisor Ted Kaufman. Before leaving office in 2016, Obama referred to his decision to tap Biden for the vice president role as the single best decision he'd made and awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Number 9, he screams for ice cream. I eat a lot of ice cream, Biden said in 2016 of his well documented favorite snack. Eater reported in April 2020 that his presidential campaign had spent $10,000 on ice cream, though they were gifts to campaign donors. During the virtual 2020 Democratic National Convention, several of Biden's 7 grandchildren appeared in a pre recorded video describing his love for the frozen dessert. He's always eating ice cream, they said, joking that he hides his Breyers chocolate and vanilla tubs so grandma doesn't see. After accepting the Democratic nomination, his eldest grandchild, Naomi, shared on social media that they gifted him a pint of ice cream. Pop, tonight you eat from the box, their note read. And number 10, his favorite movie is Chariots of Fire. In 2008, the president elect told Katie Couric that the 1981 British historical sports drama Chariots of Fire was his favorite. The thing about it, there is a place where someone put personal fame and glory behind principles, he said. That to me is the mark of a real heroism when someone would do that. Biden added that one of his favorite scenes is one in which one of the film's main runners refuses to race on Sunday due to his religious beliefs. I haven't seen this movie, but I think maybe that's something I'll check out. But yeah, that's the article. And thanks, guys.